Hi everybody, it's Cindy. I'm packing up my January Patreon kits and I thought I might as well do a tutorial and show you what I'm making for my Patreon members for this month. It's one of the things that I'm making. So I'm using my kit, the Artist's Wives. I love this kit and I haven't been using it enough, so I wanted to inspire myself to do something with this. These are images from a real antique book that I have in my stash called The Artist's Wives. And look at the patina on the pages. This is really what it looked like. I didn't have to Photoshop them very much, but the women in here, each one has a story behind her, and I'm I started making journals I started with Ludmilla, their names are on the bottom, and the Frau Majorin, and I'm going to put together a journal that kind of has their story, fabric covered journals. But that's a project for way in the future. You can print these any size you want. So these are 7 by 10, which is what I'm going to be using today. You can print them. So these you can fold in half and put in your journals as regular pages. These are what I'm using today. I'm making journal toppers. And this was I think 5 by 7. So you can use these as tags, tuck spots, journal cards, fold them in half and have them be something that you open and stick in a pocket. Lots of different uses. What I'm making today, I'm making some paper clips for my Patreon members, but the main thing that's going to take me some time is I am making these beautiful journal toppers out of the images from the Artist's Wives. What do you do with a journal topper? Well, let's say that you have an old book and you're going to be making a journal out of it, a junk journal or a glue book or something of that sort. This one's very plain and I do need to repair it because the spine's pulling off, but you could just take it and glue it to your book. Instant, beautiful cover. Look at that. It's dimensional, it has texture, and I just love making these. I'm going to put some listings for these in my shop as well when I have a chance. Look at how beautiful that is. So pretty. This is 200-year-old lace here. So that's what I'm going to be making today, and I'm going to show you how to make one. Now, if you're going to make it like this, you do need some kind of frame. I do have a die cut machine, and so I cut out these frames, but you might have something else in your stash. You also could just draw a line in and put something pretty like a flower here on the corner if you are kind of following my recipe for how to make these. So some kind of frame or die cut if you want, or some kind of a flower or a pretty embellishment to go on the corner. I also have used cheesecloth. Here I use some of my tea stained paper, but I'm out of that. I'm going to be using a book page today. I have some watercolor paper. I just get this online very cheaply, watercolor, but you don't have to have this. You can use anything that you want to do for the background. And then I have just some collaging, some embossed paper, some music paper. So we're going to do a collage on the first sheet, the background sheet. So let's get started. I'm going to use, because this fits really nicely, I'm going to use this old dictionary page. And then my latest bag of scraps, which we always have on hand, right? I like to keep them in a bag like this so I can just pull them out when I need them. And then I have some unbleached cheesecloth. I like the unbleached because it's not stark white. I'll put a link below as to where I get this, and it will be an affiliate link. I would get a couple of cents, I think 2 cents or so, if you buy it through my link, so that would be appreciated. So I want to put something, if you want to follow, I like to refer to recipes. So you can follow the pattern of what I do, but use your own supplies. So the first thing is I want to put something in the bottom right hand corner. Now our image is going to be on top of it. So the stuff in the center is not really going to show. So I just want I want interest around the edges. This cowl thing is kind of creepy for some reason, so I think I'm going to use this side and cover that up so it's not showing on the back. All right, so something for the bottom right corner. Any one of my scraps will do. That's kind of cool. Looks good to me. Just put that there. I'll just lay everything down first. And then I want a little something in the bottom left. I'm going to just use a scrap of this. This one is in the Artist's Wives. I don't use it very much because she's got a tear through her face, but I use it for collaging. So I'm just going to use my tear ruler, if I can pick it up. I had to sleep with my splints on last night. My hand is very swollen. Okay. And let's do a little bit across the bottom. And then maybe tear it about here. And I'm going to ink it up. See, she's not going to be showing. It's just the bottom section that's going to be showing. Okay, I'll put that there, that there. This is only going to go up to about here. Make it a little more uneven. Put that there. And then I want something in the upper left-hand corner. And I don't have any music paper in here. I would like to put, oh, here's some. I have some music paper. Okay, let me tear this up a little. Whenever I have paper like this that comes from a ring binder, I like to pull this off, you can see, and I save these strips because they make really good embellishments for collaging and whatnot. I'm just going to freehand this. Just kind of make it uneven. I like that. Ink up the edges with, I use Tim Holtz Vintage Photo. If you follow me, you probably know that that's my go-to. I'm going to put that there. I will probably distress this a little bit once I get it all glued down. Okay, and then I will probably put, let's see, I need something in the upper right corner. Upper right corner, that's pretty nice. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I'm basically just decorating the edges. I'll get my glue stick and just glue everything down. And I am going to be sewing around the whole perimeter, so I want to make sure that the glue is nice and dry before I take it, oops, to my sewing machine. That's okay if that's torn. So I'm filming this on the day that we're all having massive, massive cold. It's -24 here in Maine with the wind chill. I hope that you're all safe and warm. Don't go out if you don't have to. I'm staying in my studio all day long. Most definitely. I'm not going anywhere. Okay. So that's our little background piece, and it's okay if it's just a flimsy book page because it's going to get stiffer as we go along. I'm going to end up with a piece of cheesecloth up the middle probably, so I'll set that aside for a minute. And let's get our lady. We have a lady here and a piece of watercolor paper. And again, it can be any kind of paper, but I do like the watercolor paper. It, especially where it's going to be on the cover, it just makes it a little more stiff. So I am going to, let me move all of this stuff out of the way. I have a lot of these to make, so it's fun making one with you. And look what else my Patreons are receiving. And those of you who are in my Box of Paper Joy monthly subscription, you're going to be getting one of these actual receipts from the 1800s. And it's in a nice pristine plastic case. So I'm excited to send you guys one of these as a thank you. This, I want it to be approximately, let's see, I have too many rulers here. Where's my actual measuring ruler? This is going to be 6 by 4.5. And by the way, if you are a person that likes measurements, my book page is 8.25 by 5.25. So I'm just going to start by distressing my edges, or tearing it down with my distress ruler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do it at 6. And then the watercolor paper, you do kind of have to have strength in your hands to distress it like this. But regular paper would be easier. And then I want 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. And just do one more because I have a ton of these to make. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Okay, save that for later. So now we have this. And I like to ink the edges and actually go a little farther in too, so that it's not so stark white. And then choose one of my ladies. Where did they go? Here she is. My lady. That looks really nice. Okay, so I'm going to use my tape gun, my tape runner for this, because I'm not going to be sewing through it. And glue stick does not stand up to the test of time. It dries out and does not last as long as tape or regular glue, so I don't use it for anything like a journal cover or anything that I'm not going to sew through. Then let's get this out and we can put this together. Oop. Thought I'd be able to tear that for some reason. So just a piece of cheesecloth. That's fighting me. It doesn't want to spread out. Okay. And I could just put a little bit on the top and a little bit on the bottom, but it's just easier to do it this way. I'll use just a little bit of Fabri-Tac. We're going to glue this down, so this is going to get glued down, but I'll just give it a little extra help to stay in place while I'm working on the rest of this. And I think I want the edges even darker. I love the effect of watercolor paper and the distress ruler. Isn't that nice? Let's glue her down. I guess since I have my Fabri-Tac out, I'll continue to use this. And that the Fabri-Tac is less apt to warp my book page too. Put her in the middle. Looking gorgeous so far. I just love this kit. Okay, and then I'm going to get my frame. So let's pull this out a little more. Get my frame. And I'm going to glue this down and put it right there. Oh, but first I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and just sew around the edges. It's not necessary, but I do like that look. So I'll be right back. And here we go. Looks beautiful. And even if you don't want to use this as a journal cover, the back, if you sew, looks gorgeous too. So you could use this as a tip-in if you don't want to use it as a journal cover. But I like having journal covers already made so that if I have a bunch of journals to make, then these are all ready to go. Let me just glue this down. I have a new tier in my Patreon where you receive a blank journal and a decorating kit every month. I'm having a lot of fun. It starts in February. Well, the first kit will go out. I'm having a ton of fun with it. And everybody's going to be getting at least one antique item every month in their kit. So it's a great way to build your stash if you're just starting out. You can come and go. You can just try 1 month and then downgrade from there if you want. There. Okay, I'm very happy with the way this turned out. And I'm going to go off and make a ton of these to get them out to my Patreons next week. Thank you for watching. I hope you have fun with the kit. Bye-bye.